for 190 in Victoria, Chef? Any chance?
All right, guys. So please, all our viewers on TikTok, please bring all the questions on Facebook or on YouTube. I have mentioned our channel names here. On our channel, you'll be able to see that logo here as well. So this logo, you identify our channel with that logo. Bring all the questions there. It is easier for us to share screen, and it is easier for us to answer questions. Okay. Still, I get any questions on Facebook. We'll continue to read your questions on TikTok, but I encourage all of you guys to please bring all the questions on YouTube or on Facebook. We've got a question coming from Hisam Khan. Is it good to study wall and floor tiling? Wall and floor tiler is a very, very demanding occupation in Australia. So you have a very good scope if you are studying wall and floor tiling. Make sure you find a job as well after you graduate, and even during study, if you find job, it is going to help you to transition yourself into this building and construction industry. In next 2 or 3 years, we have very, very stable outcomes for visas in construction related occupations. So very, very good option. So we have got a question on, I think that's on YouTube. Someone is asking, Ram is asking, hi there, I have a query in regards to 491 visa application. I'm the primary applicant and my husband is secondary applicant. He has been employed in Saudi Arabia since 2013. Now the problem is his date of birth. So Ram, I would like to know a little bit in detail about your question. So now the problem is that the date of birth is different in KSA record, like we have all the proof regarding his real date of birth in home country. So I'm not sure, Ram, if that date of birth is affecting any number of points or not. So if it is not making any difference in the points, or if it is not making any difference in the eligibility, then it should not be a problem. Okay, I would highly recommend you. It is a very, very critical point, very, very important point. So I would recommend you to discuss it with the registered migration agent. If you want to discuss with me, you would be required to book appointment, and you can do so from our website. The website details are scrolling under the screen, I think. Let me check. Oh, they are they? No. So just give me 1 sec. I have to check that. Change that. Yeah. So those are the website details. You can book appointment with us, and I'll be happy to listen to your full story. I need to know where the date of births are different and why there is a difference, and if there are substantial reasons for the difference. So having a wrong date of birth is a common thing in certain countries, but depending upon the severity of the matter, I can guide in the right direction. If you have done your whole work yourself, I can't really do much, but I would love to know a bit more about your issues so we can guide you in the right direction. Okay. All right, guys, my TikTok family, guys, please continue assisting us in double tapping and bring all the questions on Facebook and YouTube. I'm taking all the questions as it is easier for us to share screens. So everyone, we all are learning at the same time. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to continue taking questions from TikTok as well until we get more viewers on other platforms. We've got a question coming from Aussie Haryanewala. Chef in Victoria at 95 points for 491 and 85 points for 190. Any chance? I know it is a little bit difficult with the hospitality occupations, especially in Victoria. I can share with you how many seats are remaining with Victoria, so you can have a bit of idea where you stand, and we can take it from there. Just give me 1 sec, okay? Here we go. I believe you are able to see my screen here. So you can see that you can see here on the screen, Victoria, until 1st of July 2024, until 28th of February 2025, Victoria had in only 260 places left for 190, and we only had 465 places left for 491. So it's not a big number, and I believe they have given one more round after this date. So that means that they have exhausted most of their places. So if I look at those numbers, the chances of you getting invited in this financial year are very, very limited. So what I would recommend you, if your visa is running out soon, I would recommend you to consider exploring other visa options. It could be 482 employer sponsored visa, it could be 494 if you're working in regional Victoria, or could be even as simple as training visa, just to buy some time and probably see how things are going in next financial year, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I hope that helps. Next question is coming from Avikash Chandra. Hello, I am a primary school teacher in Fiji. I would like to teach in Australia. Will PT test work for teachers registration? Absolutely no. So Avikash Chandra, if you are looking to teach in Australia, for teachers registration in Australia, there are two primary requirements. First of all, you should have a relevant teaching degree, and during that degree you must have at least 45 days of teaching practice. Okay, so 45 days of teaching practice, and then you must do English test, unless you come from English, your qualification is from English speaking countries. You must achieve 7.7 in reading and writing, and you must achieve 8.8 in listening and speaking in IELTS academic. There's another exam also known as ISLPR. You can do that exam as well as a part of registration. Once registration is achieved, you can apply for skills assessment, or you can even directly apply for skills assessment and then do EY and ROI and wait from offshore to get invited. Once invited, then you can come to Australia, and your journey starts here. But if you don't meet that, then probably explore other options. Come to Australia on other visas. It could be even as simple as student visa. It is not easy to get student visa from certain countries, but that could also be one of the options. Okay, so everyone on TikTok, please bring all the questions on YouTube or on Facebook. I've given you YouTube and Facebook details there. Please bring all the questions here. Okay. I have a very good question that is asked by Rushain. Rushain is asking when the university levels will be released. So generally, the universities levels, they get updated 2 times in a year, generally in March and September. So you're gonna hear back. We would have that information hopefully by the end of this month, and they generally do it 2 times. Okay. So let me give you a little bit of introduction, a little bit of information about these university levels. So Maddie, we have like Australian universities, depending upon the Department of Home Affairs, based on the visa success rate in particular university in from a particular passport country. They give them assessment levels. So if the university is assessment level 1, okay, with that particular country of passport, then you are not required to give English as well as finance evidence to the Department of Home Affairs if it is assessment level 1. If it is assessment level 2, then they ask for English as well as finance.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay, so that's how the assessment levels work. And you also need to understand that these assessment levels also determine how the university's admission process works. If it is very stringent, it is going to be assessment level 1. So many universities, such as University of Adelaide, is still in assessment level 1. I think Flinders University keeps on fluctuating between 1 and 2, and there are the same story with other institutions as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have Leo. Leo is asking, just finished my diploma of hotel management, got 485 a week ago, 6 months work as a cook in Sydney. What should be my next move, or which state should I focus on? So Leo the King, I first want to ask, is that a diploma in hotel management? or is it actually kitchen qualification? So are you actually trained in cooking and all that, or you are trained in management side of things? So if it is a diploma in hospital management, then DOHM, I think DOHM should be diploma in hotel management. Yeah, awesome. And you're working as a cook. So if you have a diploma of hotel management, but you don't have kitchen qualification, say certificate 3 in cookery or certificate 4 in cookery, then you could have a slightly different career plan. But if you have cookery related qualification, then you would have slightly different career plan. So Leo, your question seems to be a little bit complicated, but I would recommend you, if you really want like full assessment on your profile, and if you want us to assist you in making that decision, that critical decision, what you can do at this stage, then please head to our website at www.eems.com.au and book appointment from there. So if you have certificate 4, as you have mentioned in your follow-up comment, then probably registering for Job Ready program is the first thing that you should do. Once your Job Ready program is finished, by that time you'll have substantial experience, and most probably you can go for employer sponsored visa. Moving to a regional area could be something that you can consider, no matter where, but consider moving to a regional area. Okay, guys, please bring all the questions on YouTube and Facebook. My TikTok family, I know you guys are a little disheartened today, but we are taking all the questions on Facebook and on YouTube. So please bring all the questions there. I have mentioned those details here because it is much easier for us to show your question to everyone on screen. The discussions that we have, so we are all learning at the same time. Remember, guys, the purpose of these live shows is to give you generic information, okay, about your scenarios, so you know a little bit where migration is going and what your scopes are in future. I also want to introduce all of you to Mr. Malvinder Singh. You can call him Maddie as well. Maddie has recently joined us as a migration agent, so you will see Maddie along with me in live shows, and he would also be able to assist you guys with your visa options. So if you want to book appointment with me or Maddie, you have all those numbers and website details are scrolling on the screen. Okay. Manjot, absolutely, Manjot, you're welcome. Why not? Will is asking, hello sir, what are the chances for enrolled nurse at 85 points in ACT for 491? Enrolled nurse at 85 points in ACT for 491. I have applied for student visa for Bachelors of Nursing. Let's have a look. So I'm going to show you the number of EOIs in ACT. Just pay attention to the screen, guys, please. So if you guys are watching us live on TikTok or on TikTok, then please bring all your questions to Facebook or YouTube. I've mentioned the details there on the screen. Okay, so just give me 1 sec. Enrolled nurse. Okay, here we go. Just give me 1 sec. Let me change the slide. Where did we go? So I need to.
It should be go.
Here we go. I need to select the right screen. I think we should go here again, present. And so just give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm just having a bit of technical issue. Present.
Just drop the screen first. Maybe.
Yeah, and then present.
Share screen.
Yep, here we go. All right, so you're able to see on my screen. This slide shows the number of EOIs in ACT. So number of EOIs in ACT for 190 are, I think, 67 in ACT. For 190 are 67. And if you look at 80 plus higher points, I mean, this does not show you, the breakdown state-wise here. This only shows, this column here only shows total number of EOIs for any state for that particular visa, which is 190 here. But this figure shows you how many people have ticked 190 for enrolled nurse in ACT. So we have 67 people. And then you see 85 plus points. There are roughly 300 people, but that is for in total. I believe that out of these people, you would be sitting on most probably on top tier or in top 20%. So if they did invite any enrolled nurses, you would be the one getting that invite. But we have seen that most states are not sending invites to enrolled nurses. We have seen most of them receiving 491s. Okay, we received 491 invites in Western Australia. We received some in South Australia, but that too in just outer regional. So enrolled nurses are kind of bit of limbo for the time being. I believe the situation may improve in future. So just stay focused. And if you have already lodged a student visa for Bachelors of Nursing, I think after Bachelors of Nursing, you would have relatively higher chances, because Bachelors of Nursing will allow you to get registration as a registered nurse, and registered nurses are eligible for 189, 491, and 190, all of these visas. So you'll have better opportunities. Okay, all the best. Manjot, can you please send me your resume? Our email is scrolling on the screen. Okay, so for those who know Manjot, Manjot is also one of our team members, and currently he's exploring business opportunities in India. So his comment was on a lighter note, I believe. Okay, so GVS Sony is saying, sir, ECEG completing in September 2025, essay for a valid January 28 should be moved to other state. GVS Sony, very good question. So I think you are talking graduate diploma in early childhood and teaching. You're completing that in September 2025. Do you recommend to move to other states? So let's look at the challenges and let's look at the positive side. So positive side in your profile, GVS Sony, is that you have visa until January 2028. So which is roughly 3 years, 6, 7, 8, 3 years, which is a reasonably long time. But the quicker you get onto PR pathways, the better it is. So if you're currently employed in the industry in South Australia, it's fine. After graduation, you can first apply for registration in Victoria, and then later on get that transferred, that registration transferred to South Australia, and you can work as an early childhood teacher in South Australia. South Australia can invite you for 190, 491, or you can also get invited for 189. But you need to keep one thing in mind: job is going to be a critical factor, and because lots of people are getting this skills assessment now, since the skills assessment body has changed, and since English requirements for early childhood teachers have changed, that means in future this occupation will become a bit too crowded. So you should get invited within next 12 months or so. Okay, if you do have to make move, then you can make a move to Victoria, and that too in regional Victoria. So if you're working in the industry, or if you're able to find a job as even early childhood educator, or even a childcare worker in regional Victoria, then you should move with job in hand. That could work out to be a good move for you. Okay, in South Australia, I have already mentioned what you're required to do for South Australia. Getting registration is a bit of challenge, but if you get registration and find a job here, then South Australia is as good. Okay. Early childhood, on what points? So any invitations? We haven't received any invitation for early childhood. We received 2 491s for Victoria, and that was in the month of December. I think those people have been granted visas as well. So it's pretty quick in Victoria. So if you are an early childhood teacher, if your visa is running out in next few months, okay, I would recommend you guys considering moving to Victoria, and Victoria can invite you for 491, but job is a critical factor. Okay, I'm gonna take some of the questions from TikTok so I don't annoy you guys. Please bring all the questions to YouTube and Facebook today, but I'll see the questions that are in front of me on screen. So Susanna is asking, hello sir, Diploma of Mental Health, PR leading course. Diploma of Mental Health, is that a PR leading course? Not directly, because just doing a Diploma of Mental Health will not lead you to anything. Okay, so it is not a course that leads you to registration. But if you're talking of Diploma of Mental Health after enrolled nurse, then that's definitely addition to your qualification. So enrolled nurse allows you to get registration, and then that Diploma of Mental Health qualification on top of that would give you additional edge in securing better job and things like that. But directly, no. All right, so Lace 33, sir, how long is take open ART nowadays if you apply now, and is it safe 100% to go to India on ART? LOCE 33, my recommendation to you would be, I can't really say much. Okay, so it all depends. Can you go overseas? If you go overseas and if you get stopped at the airport, and if they find out that you have breached any of your visa conditions in the past, then it could be a problem. So answer to that question is yes and no, but it all depends on your circumstances. So if you guys want to discuss your case, guys, please head to our website at www.ems.com.au and you can book a consultation from there. Okay, either with me or with Maddie, will be happy to assist. All right, I'm back with the questions on Facebook. So I have a question on Facebook. Rav Nawaz PT Jhelum. So finishing community service batches from Sydney in 1 month, what do you recommend? So if you're completing batches of community service, I would recommend you immediately after finishing the course, once you load your, depending on the country of passport, your visa would be mostly 2 years. So 485 visa will be 2 years. And if you have no connection with the industry, you are not employed, or you have no connection in the industry, you are not able to find a job right away in next 2 to 3 months, then I would recommend you to consider even going for higher studies, maybe bachelor's or master's of social work, redoing another student visa. That could be one consideration. You also have to consider your age and your immigration history, how long you have been in Australia, and things like that. There's no direct answer to your question. I would like to know a bit more about it, Rav Nawaz. So please book appointment. Okay, don't hurry in just applying for 485 visa, because you're gonna get only 2 years of 485 visa, and if you do not have a strong plan what you are going to do in those 2 years, then you are eventually going to struggle. Okay, so please make that decision very, very wisely. I'll be happy to help. Please head to our website and you can book appointment so we can discuss some options for you. Okay, we have a Vikas Newpane. Hi sir, I have 7 months of experience and pay slips of cook. Just started working as a chef. Can I use 7 months of cook titled pay slips for skills assessment JRP for chef, or it is just no use? Very, very good question. So generally, you are required to be working as a chef. Okay, and it is, look, I mean, having pay slips as a cook means that you are going to go for cook JRP. I believe because JRP, when you receive a skills assessment from a TRA, it has cook and chef both. But I believe most of the times your employment should be as a chef. Even though you're doing cook jobs and duties, you can ask your employer to include that as a chef. Okay, or maybe trainee chef or chef. So that might help you to get that outcome, and you can use obviously that experience for chef as well as cook in future. I've got a question from Kiram Kale. Hello sir, my student expire on September when I am supposed to start processing another visa. Very good question. So if your visa is expiring in next 4 to 6 weeks, this is the time to get started. So sometimes even 2 months or 2.5 months in advance, you should go and meet a migration agent, discuss what options you have and how you're going to prepare. Sometimes you're required to do English, sometimes you're required to do health checks and things like that. So there could be things that you would be required to do before you're able to lodge a visa application. Never leave things to the last moment, guys. Okay, go and see a migration agent. Love You Zindagi is asking, sir, 491 visa lodge medical works for 186 visa lodge or need new medical if medical less than 1 year? Very good question. So someone is asking, that's a question on TikTok. So you guys, Love You Zindagi is asking, can you use the same medical examination that you did for another visa, for 186 visa? The answer to that question is yes, because the medical examinations are conducted by Department of Home Affairs and they are valid for 12 months. So if you have done any medical exam within last 12 months, you can also use the same exam for the next visa as well. Okay. Can you please help me with some questions from there?
Yep.
Yeah, probably bring it here. So guys, we are taking all the questions on Facebook as well as on YouTube and some questions on TikTok if there are no questions on social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube.
So Taib Malik, I am on 476 visa and expire in May 2025. Living in Victoria and points for 491 is 85 and 190 is 75. So what's your question, Taib, over here?
So I think Taib is looking for the options. What options would he has? Look, I mean, Taib, if you have already lodged EOI and ROIs, then it is just a matter of waiting for you. But obviously you are required to prepare for other options as well if you don't get invited. Don't rely too much on Victoria because they do not have any, they do not have a lot of places left over. So you should explore other options. Okay, I'm not sure you have spoken to a migration agent or not. But if you haven't, this is the time for you to talk to a migration agent.
Okay. So we have WAE Lang. Hello, sir. I have a child subclass 101 PR visa. Can I stay outside Australia for 5 months?
Yeah, if you have a PR visa, if you want to go overseas and want to return, that's fine.
Nice.
If you want to return within the validity of your visa, remember when your PR visa is granted, okay, any permanent resident visa, when that visa is granted, you will have, generally it is valid for 5 years. Okay, so the visa validity is for 5 years. But if you want to travel overseas and want to return back after those 5 years, then you are required to apply for resident return visa. So do it before you leave. Okay. Generally, after living in Australia on a permanent visa for 5 years, or even 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years as well, depending upon the meeting the criteria, most people get Australian passports, so they don't have to worry about it. But if you have not applied for Australian citizenship and do not have Australian passport, after 5 years, if you are in Australia, if you want to leave Australia, you have to apply for resident return visa, so you can return on that visa. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take this question. That's a question from Leo. Leo is asking, as I have certificate 4 and diploma of hotel management, about 6 months of experience as a chef till now, JRP ongoing, and I also have aged care worker experience of 3 years. My best options. Leo, look, you already know your best options. What are your best options? Your best options depend upon your employability. Okay. Look, aged care, you can't get visa in aged care without employer sponsored. Okay, but as a chef or cook, you can get state sponsored visas, 491 and 190. Those visas are very competitive. Okay, you require high points, you require probably good English, and you also require strong employment. So those points. So if you are able to secure employment and all that, then probably as a chef or cook, then probably explore this area. Chances of getting sponsorship as a aged care worker are relatively lower because lots of people are targeting that area. So consider whether you will be able to find a good job, okay, and consider moving to regional area, okay, except in regional area, in regional towns, okay. So that would be something that I can recommend you from generically from what you have written there, okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have another one. Reed. What are the chances of welfare worker for 190 visa at 70 points?
Who is that? Sorry.
Reed. Reed is asking.
Yeah. So what are the chances of welfare worker for 190 visa at 70 points? So Reed, at 70 welfare worker, let me have a quick look how many people are sitting. And Reed, please also write the name of your state too. Guys, we are completely now on TikTok because the number of viewers on the other platforms are limited. So we'll continuously help you on TikTok. What I want all of you guys is to keep double tapping the screen, because I want to see at least 60, 70, 80 people. And if I have to show you screen, you can actually join me on there. So if you want to if you want me to show you screen. So Reed, if you want to see the screen, you can please join me on Facebook or on YouTube. So I'm showing here the scope for welfare workers. Okay, here we go. So welfare workers, here we go. So what are the chances of a welfare worker at 70 points? Depending on the state you're living in, that those chances will vary. But as a welfare worker, we do not have a huge number of UIs. New South Wales has for 194.01. Victoria has 179. Western Australia has 206. Northern Territory less than 20. Queensland 68. SA 75. These are the number of UIs for 190 in different states. Okay. But again, welfare workers will not be invited in big numbers. However, welfare worker is definitely in the priority in certain states. Western Australia has them in priority. Social assistance is also in priority in South Australia too. So it all depends if you meet the state's criteria or not. But your points are definitely on lower side. So your points can limit your scopes of getting invited. So continue working with improving points. That's all I would recommend you. Okay.
So we have Zahur Sandhu. But DAMA experience is required for student as a truck driver.
Zahur Sandhu. So is work experience required as a truck driver? Yes, absolutely. In most cases, the work experience requirement is there. Can you complete the work experience as a truck driver? Depends upon the DAMA and that DAMA area and what is mentioned in their requirements. So generally, if you talk about DAMA in South Australia, even if you have worked part-time, 2 years of work experience is required if you want to go for truck driver in South Australia. So similar work experience requirements are there for almost every state. Those requirements are across the road. Okay, so there was a question on TikTok from someone. I'm not sure the name of the person, but the person was asking, can 461 visa lead you to permanent residency? So that question was from Mufasa. So Mufasa, 461 visa is also known as a New Zealand. So basically, this visa is for the members of family unit. That includes partners, wife, spouse, partner, and children under 18 or children under 23, still dependent on their parent. For those people, okay, so if you are a New Zealand passport holder and you have a member of family unit who does not hold a New Zealand passport, then you can apply for 461 visa. After this visa is granted, this is valid for 5 years. And after coming to Australia, you don't get permanent residency directly. Okay, you may get permanent residency through other platforms, other pathways such as general skilled migration or even employer sponsored visa. But if you want to get permanent residency through your partner or through your member of family unit again, you would be required to go with partner visa. Okay, so you would be required to do 820 and 801 partner visa application while you're in Australia, and that is your pathway to permanent residency. Okay, guys, if you need to see screen, if you want us to show you on screen what we are discussing, then please bring all the questions to YouTube and Facebook. So I'm preferring to take questions on YouTube and Facebook. Sudarshan is asking, yeah, can you please help me with Sudarshan's question?
So carpenter and joiner, 70 points for 189 and 75 for 190. Victoria chances. So he's asking about the chances.
Okay, so again, carpenter, look, don't expect much from Victoria because they don't have much places remaining. If you like Sudarshan, if you like, you can join me on any of the YouTube or on Facebook here. I can show you the number of UIs, so that will make more sense. Carpenter and joiner. Let me have a quick look. So we are on carpenter and joining on Enscope. Right, here we go. So in Victoria, we have less than 20 EYs for carpenters and joiners for 190. Okay, that means if they invited any of the trade occupations, you would be the first one to get invited. But would they invite someone? I'm really not sure, because I don't think they have a large number of seats available to them. Okay, we have this data with me here. So if you see here, you can see, I think you're able to see that screen here. So in Victoria, until 28th of February 2025, they had only 260 places remaining for 190. That means out of those 260, I think maybe more than half are gone, because they had one round, I think on 7th or 8th of March. Okay, so if they have already invited many more people, then that number is close to 100 or maybe even less than that. I'm not saying you don't have any chances, but don't have a big hope from Victoria. Your next hope is obviously 189 as well. So as a carpenter and joiner, there are less than 20. There are only 27 EYs for 189, and most of the people are either on 65, 70, or 75 points. So you have good chances if they invited carpenter and joiners for 189, then you have good chances there. But time is probably something that you need to consider. If you have your current visa valid for next maybe 2 or 3 months, waiting is fine, but side by side, prepare for employer sponsored visa too. Okay, that would be a good proposition. Maddie, can you please help me with the next question? Okay, sure. Guys, for those who are new to our live shows, I would love to introduce myself to all of you. My name is Mahinder. You know me. I also want to introduce you all to Mr. Malvinder Singh. You can call him Maddie. Maddie has recently joined as a migration agent with us, and you would see him frequently in the live shows as well as in consultations. We are also announcing to open another office in outer suburbs of Adelaide. You'll see mostly Maddie would be looking after that office, and you will come across those announcements in next few days as this whole plan unfolds. Yeah. Guys, we are here to help. If you guys are looking for any migration related advice, and if you need assistance, if you think that in the past you did not get correct advice or you did not choose the right course, it is so easy for us to throw all the blame on others. But if we take responsibility of our own actions, and if we take accountability of our own actions, then things work out for you. We believe in honest, ethical, and transparent migration advice, and these are the values we work with. So if you are looking for options, and if you're not clear, if things are not clear to you, if your existing agent is not looking after you, or if they don't have enough knowledge or capability to guide in the right direction, we also assist lots of people with those cases where we take over the file in the middle of the process from another agent and assist clients throughout. If you need any assistance, the best thing is to book appointment, and you can do so from this website, which is mentioned here. You guys can continue asking questions. We're going to give another good half an hour. I'm also taking questions on both platforms. I've got a question from Australian Life. That's on I think YouTube. Hello, which profession is better, social worker or welfare worker in South Australia for 190? Social worker is always better than welfare worker, because social worker has higher chances of invite. Okay, this is what I believe. Okay, so Durba Khimir, again, also, just to add on to that question, Australia Life, yes, social worker is good, but you also need to look at criteria in South Australia. So what is the criteria? Do you meet that criteria or not? Because in South Australia, we have certain streams. If you meet that criteria, then it's fine. If you don't meet the criteria for social worker, then probably welfare worker could be an option. And would they give 190 to welfare worker? It all depends on many different calculations. Your employment has to be very, very strong. Your English also should be on higher side. Superior is better. Okay, so these are some of the recommendations I would love to give. Durba is asking, any chance for New South Wales regional 186 nomination approved fast this financial year, or same as other metro? Generally, regional areas 186 generally open quickly. I lodged 186 in the month of November. We had that file open in first week of March, so roughly 2.5 or 3 months. Yeah, there are high chances. But remember, lots of people are lodging these visas these days, so there's a lot of crowd as well. We need to be careful of those figures as well. Sirat, what visa options to consider for PR pathway after 462 visa? Sirat, after 462 visa, which is a working holiday visa, I think you'll get a couple of years maybe. So if you are able to gain work experience, work in the industry, then you may be able to go for employer sponsored visa or even general skilled migration. Okay, this is a critical time for you. You are already in Australia. You've been lucky enough to be selected by Wallet. You are in Australia. This is the time to go and talk to a registered migration agent, get a full assessment of your profile, and then work out your pathways. So you still have time. If you have recently landed in Australia, you have time. It is good to connect with an honest, ethical, and professional, knowledgeable migration agent who can guide you in the right direction. Okay, if you need to talk to us, you can book appointment from the website. The website address is scrolling on the bottom. Okay. Sir, how we know this file is open or not? My company lodged nomination on 23rd of November 2024. This is where the problem is, guys, right? So most people, you are being assisted by a migration agent, but you are not sure where your file is and what is actually happening to your file. So if you are being assisted by a migration agent, you should question them, ask them to send you some screenshot, where your file is and how far it is going. Technically, at the point of nomination, it is employer's duty. So employer interacts with the migration agent, get that nomination application lodged. But because you are also a visa applicant, and if you have good relationship with your employer, you can ask the employer to show you some evidence how far your nomination application has progressed. Okay, very, very important. This is where the problem is. People have migration agents, but the people are not aware where their file is. That means your migration agent either is not competent, or they really do not want to give you any update because there is hanky panky going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys. So just be aware. If you want professional advice, yes, you would be required to pay for it. And if you have paid someone to get some services, make sure you ask questions to them because they are answerable to you. So it's as simple as anything, right? You are going to buy something from shopping center, and if that thing is not working properly, you have equal right to go back and ask to get it fixed or maybe even replace it. So it doesn't work in services in the similar way, but yes, the agent who is working for you has accountability to the visa applicant to answer the queries. Okay. Shrey has a question on YouTube again. Shrey is asking, sir, any chance for Victoria EN 190 or 491? So Victoria EN, I think the number of quota is very limited in Victoria, so don't expect a lot this financial year. Okay, 80 points are reasonable. But if you're working in regional, you may still have some chances, but if not, then probably explore other options. It could be employer sponsored visa or any other option that you have.
Just take some questions from TikTok.
Yeah, so we're coming back on TikTok again. Yeah, can you please help?
So we're talking to Nurse Sherry. Please, can I apply for 407 visa? Why am I on appeal? She asked another question.
Nurse Shady, no, you cannot apply for subclass 407 visa if you are on appeal. The reason being, if you are on appeal because your visa was refused in Australia, and if your visa was refused in Australia, that means you are section 48 bar. Okay, any person who is section 48 bar is ineligible to apply for some visas onshore. They can only apply for certain visas while onshore. We call them prescribed visas, and under those prescribed visas we have partner visa with schedule 3 waiver. Obviously in this case we have subclass 491 visa, we have subclass 494 visa, we have subclass 190 visa. If you want to apply any visa other than this, you would be required to go offshore and apply for that visa from there and then come back onshore. But remember, if you apply for any visa from offshore, if that gets refused, you won't have the AET rights. So there are complications in each option. Okay, I know guys, sometimes we feel, hey, I'll just use Hindi or Punjabi कि मेरे नाल ही क्यों ਹੁੰਦਾ इदा, सारे ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇਦਾ, है ना, but ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ है. So we should all take responsibility of our own actions and decision. I do admit that when students come at very young age in Australia, they don't know what's going on. 18-19 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਮਿਸਟੇਕਸ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ. ठीक है, मिस्टेक्स होना कोई बड़ी गल नहीं, मिस्टेक्स होनी है, वी ऑल मेक मिस्टेक्स. ओके, सब ते बड़ी गल है मिस्टेक करके वापस किद्दां रस्ते ते आना. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So if you think that you have made some mistakes in the past, it's okay. Okay, everyone makes mistakes, but what is important is to get back home.
So now Sherry is saying I've applied offshore.
So if you have gone offshore and applied for training visa from offshore, then well and good, no problems whatsoever. But if that 407 gets refused, then you won't get, won't have chances to challenge that in ART. But if you are on already ART appeal, that will continue. So you have some way to live in Australia. Okay, I think your Nurse Shetty, if you have already lodged that visa, that means you have a migration agent. I think this question is better asked from your migration agent.
Okay, we have engineer Ali. If after advanced diploma of civil engineering and design, we do diploma, can we get a TR visa? I'm after advanced diploma of civil construction and design. We do diploma, can we get TR visa? So, yeah.
Can we get TR visa?
Yeah.
Where about the, okay, so engineer Ali. Okay, so if after advanced diploma of civil construction and design, we do, can we get TR? So the person is asking whether you can get TR after advanced diploma in civil construction and design. Technically, you should. Okay, but there's a requirement. You need to nominate one occupation from there. So most people with advanced diploma in civil construction are able to do 485 visa, but because of latest changes in skills assessment, I'm not sure. I haven't done many cases related to that, so this is a kind of gray area for me. I would need to check whether anyone with the advanced diploma in civil construction and design be able to lodge a 485 visa or not.
All right. We do have Mosa. Please, how I can do for applying my... That's okay. Just hold on. Sorry, guys. So Mausa says, please, how I can do for applying my application. We didn't understand your question.
Musa, where are you located? If you are offshore and if you're interested to come to Australia, your starting point is to go to Department of Home Affairs Australia's website and read some basic information about Australian visas. Okay, there's nothing that we would be able to help you from there. So you have get a little bit of information, do your homework, and then probably depending upon what you have read and what research you have done, as per your research what visa you are eligible for. If you think it is a student visa and if you're capable of doing so, probably find a local agent in your home country. We won't be able to help anyone from offshore unless you hold a professional or trade qualification and your English is good and you're able to afford our fees. Most of the people from offshore are not able to afford our fees of a migration agent because it can cost you up to $10,000 to $12,000 or $15,000 for the whole process for Australian visa in terms of fees. Okay, if you have qualifications and if you have skills.
Okay. So we have Cyber Tashi. He's asking WA110491. So any chances? So he's asking specifying the subclasses. So
look, Tashi, Western Australia hasn't invited a lot of IT people. Their main preference this year is construction and health and all that. So fingers crossed for you. All the best. They may change this in next financial year. But this year, we haven't got a lot of invites in IT occupations in Western Australia.
Okay. So there's a key saying, what's your advice to MBA students who wants to do a pathway course and when?
So if you are looking for advice, if you have done MBA course, please send us a message on WhatsApp. I'll get my educational counselor to give you a call and we can take it from there.
So I think she's in the first year student at MU. So,
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
She and we also have Shinaya, RN 80 points. What are the chances for 189 New South Wales? So 189 is not state-based visa, so that part of your question is not relevant. So that New South Wales, no matter where you're located, can you get 189 out of 80 points? Yes, you can, because you would be sitting on top tier in terms of invites. And I think there would be a round for 189 if they invited, say, 500 or 1,000 nurses this time again. Then most of those people with 75 or higher points would get invited. They have roughly 1,000 EUIs, more than I think 1,500 total EUIs for 189 as ENs, and a lot of people are sitting at 75 and higher points. So good scope if you have 80 points.
All right. So I think it's again mega data chances for 189 for wall and floor tiles, 75 points in Victoria. I think
So mega, very good chance. Look, in Victoria has not invited lots of these occupations. They do gave some invites, but mostly for 491 in construction related. If your current visa is valid for next 2 or 3 months, I would recommend you to sit tight and you may get invited for 189, even if this financial year or maybe early next financial year. If not, then also explore options of other visas. Could be training visa, employer sponsored visa, 482, or any other visa.
Ray61 says, can I apply skill assessment if I have a diploma in civil engineering currently in Australia?
Can you apply for skills assessment if you have a diploma in civil engineering? Very good question. I think you can. What I would recommend you, because every qualification is different. We generally deal with the bachelor's degrees. Not sure how they're going to react to diploma. Your starting point would be to give Engineers Australia a call directly. So just pick up phone and give them a call. Search Engineers Australia on Google. Give them a call and get some preliminary information, or they might give you some links to read and probably do that research from there. If you are a bachelor's degree holder, it is easier to get through CDR writing pathways. Sometimes diploma level qualification can also do skills assessment through CDR writing pathways, but I think Engineers Australia is the point of contact for you. If you want us to do all that research for you, yes, we can do that as well. You would be first required to book consultation, and then we can do that research for you and get back to you.
Okay, Samiksha, 186 direct entry hours are counted from certificate 3 or after certificate 4.
So if you're going as a chef, then it is going to be minimum qualification for chef is certificate 4. So your hours for direct entry are only counted after you have attained the relevant qualification. In this case, certificate 4. So answer to your question is after completion of certificate 4, if you're going as a chef. But if you're going as a cook, after certificate 3 is fine.
Okay. Nurse Sherry's back. Please, can you help with 491 75 points?
Can you help with the 491 75 points? I'm not sure how you're can you help with? I'm not sure what kind of help you like. Do you want us to assist with the process? Yes, we can do. The starting point is to book appointment, please. I have a question from Food and Hidden Gems. Which course is better, for wall and floor tiler or cabinet making next 2 years? I think both are equally good. I would be more tilted towards cabinet making because it's a highly demanding occupation. Wall and floor tiler is good as well, equally good, both of them. Both of them have less than 100 EOIs for 189, and both of them are eligible for 189, 190, and 491. Okay, guys, if you have not hit that follow button so far, if you're watching a live show for the first time, we have all the details mentioned here. My name is Mahinder. I'm a registered migration agent, and Maddie is assisting me with this live show. Maddie is also a migration agent. We are here to help, guys, and we are also announcing to open another office in Adelaide. It would be located in outskirts of city, where Maddie would be looking after that office. And if you guys need any assistance, if you want to book consultation, you can do it from the website here, and you can also reach out to us on the given numbers. If you haven't hit that follow button so far or subscribe button, this is the time to do so. Okay, so you don't miss any live shows in future. I've got a question from Beaky on YouTube. I think, sir, is 70 points competitive for cook or chef? And what is the minimum experience required for the occupation regarding the state nomination? For cook and chef, 70 points are not enough, okay, technically. But it's not always about points. Sometimes if your employment is stronger, you can even get invited at relatively lower points. Okay, so depending on the state. What is the minimum experience required? So experience requirements depend upon state to state. But in your chef and cook point, overall, if I look at your profile at 70 points, I recommend you to explore employer-sponsored visa pathways, because under current circumstances, this financial year or even next financial year, the chances of getting invited seem to be limited to me.
All right, so we have Dilip. Hello, sir. I'm solid plaster with skill assessment. How much points do I need for this occupation?
Even if you have barely 65 points, you can get invited for 189, 190, or even 491, depending on the state you're living in. So you've got pretty good points, my friend. Solid plasters, we have less than 25 EUIs as solid plasters. So your occupation is in high demand.
Nice. All right, we have Rominsa. What is the normal time for granting 186-week visa grant after nomination approval? It can take...
okay, so what is the normal time for granting 186 after nomination approval? Should be pretty quick.
All right, we have Norman Khan. Any chance for ECT 75 points, 190 Victoria, or 85 points, 491? So again, as Mahinder sir mentioned, this state is quite exhausted.
Yeah, the number of places are quite limited, so you may not get invited from Victoria.
KK, bricklayer skill assessment done, sir. Please tell us about. So what do you want to know, KK?
So skills assessment done. Then next step is to do EOI and ROI, depending upon the state you're located in. You also need to keep in mind your current visa expiry, how long your current visa is valid. So these are all the questions that you need to ask yourself. If you want full assessment, want to make a plan, please head to our website and book appointment from there.
So there's CMA Shrista. Hi, sir. I'm a baker. I have been working since 1 year. Should I get skill assessment for 186? So she's a baker.
Can you get 186 as a baker? Yes, you can. But remember, you would be required to have 3 years of full-time work experience after the required qualification. So if your skill assessment is achieved through So offshore skills assessment pathway, then that work experience requirement would be 6 years. So it depends on case to case basis. Okay, so if you have a migration agent, please discuss it with them. If you don't have one, if you want to discuss with me, please head to our website and book appointment from there, so we can look at your whole profile and suggest you the best way going forward.
So we have SS. I'm in UK at the moment and have 2 years of working experience in aged care plus NVQ3. What's the way to for PR?
Okay, I'm gonna take this first question on YouTube. My preference is always YouTube and Facebook.
Sure.
Australian life, how many points required for 190 as welfare worker in SA? Working with government department as social worker. So look, I mean, if you're working with government department as social worker, you've got pretty good chances of being accepted as a social worker in South Australia, subject to meeting the criteria. Okay. So someone is saying, SS is saying, I'm in the UK at the moment, have 2 years of working experience in aged care plus 3 NVQ3. What are the way for PR? So in Australia, there's no direct way for you to get PR as a aged care worker. The only way for you to get PR in Australia would be through employer sponsored visa. In Australia as well, we have thousands of aged care workers looking for sponsorship. Okay, so I won't give you any false hope here. Unless you're able to secure a job in Australia and you're able to get 482 visa, there's no option as such.
Alrighty.
I've got a question from Beaky again. Is the income threshold also be considered during experience gaining phase, or only need to meet that for the contract during the 482 application phase? Very good question. So generally, there's no requirement for experience phase. You only need to show that you would be employed at minimum attainment salary or meeting minimum market salary rate at the time of nomination. Okay, so requirement the wage or salary before your 482 visa nomination does not matter. Ranveer is saying, is dependent notice of skills assessment required while applying for 191? Technically, no, but if you have them available, do it.
Mr. Chef, hey mate, just a quick one. How long does it take to grant 482 visa?
If you have lodged your 482 visa in the new regime, which is a SID, it should not take more than 2.5 months. It's pretty quick these days. But if you have lodged under old regime before 7th of December 2024, then it can take up to 12 months. Sushmita Lama, hi, I'm eligible for TR after completing Cert 3 and Diploma of Childcare. No. Look, Sushmita Lama, basically for you to get 485 visa, you are required to have an occupation for which you can achieve provisional skills assessment after your qualification. So that question, there's a gray area here. Not everyone will be eligible for 485 visa after completing this. This is just my understanding. Okay, if someone has done 485 visa after Diploma of Childcare, not during COVID. A lot of people got 485 visa during COVID because of just having 2 years of study. It doesn't really matter what study was that field, what was the field of that study during that time. But after COVID and before COVID, you are required to nominate an occupation from medium and long-term list if you are going for 485 visa under post-vocational stream. Okay, if diploma level qualifications in childcare does not allow you to nominate any occupation from MLT SSL. And that is the reason you will be ineligible for 485 visa. This is my understanding. I may be wrong. So I'm open for discussion on that.
We have Bolu. He says, applied for 407 training visa and I got a BBA with no work rights. I'm going to go waive this no work condition, I believe he's trying to
applied for 407 visa and got BBA with no work condition. I'm gonna waive the work right. What do you say?
Hmm.
What do you think? I love that. WDYT. That's a new one for me to learn. What do you think? All right. So Bolu, take this question to your migration agent. I think you have paid your migration agent, and he is liable for you to answer that question for you. Okay. If I had assisted you, you would not have asked that question on social media. Okay. Krijana is saying, got credit 1 year and did my bachelor's of nursing in 2 years. Am I will be SA graduate or not? Very good question. So Krijana, SA graduates definition, you are required to check from their website. I think this year they require you to have finished at least 75% of your studies. And if you have done just 2 years here, then out of 3 years, 2 years would be 65%. That would not meet the definition of SA graduate. Okay, so you may want to choose either outer regional stream with 9 months of work experience, that's the closest one, or maybe working in SA stream. So that requires 12 months of work experience.
Okay. It doesn't have the name, but says, hi, secondary school teacher with 1 year experience. I have 75 points for 1 night visa offshore. What is my chance?
So I'm going to answer this question from Ram here again. As I told you before, my husband has a different date of birth and all that. So in this case, if it is not affecting any points, and if you can justify and prove to the case officer that this is a mistake and provide them statutory declarations from the relevant and evidence from the relevant authorities, they may consider it. Okay, that's all I can say about it. All right, next one from TikTok.
So, hi, secondary school teacher with 1 year experience. I have 75 points for 189 visa offshore. What is my chance?
Secondary school teacher. Let me have a quick look. Secondary school teacher. Secondary school teachers, how many points?
75.
So if you come on my social media, other YouTube or Facebook, then you'll be able to see, I'm sharing a screen here. You'll be able to see that in secondary school teacher, we have 904 EYs for 189. We have roughly 220 EYs with the 75 or higher points. So if you are at 75 or higher points, you have very good chances of being invited for 189. And even if you have 70, if they invited like 500, if they give total 500 invitations, all of them will be invited. So you have pretty good chances of being invited from offshore. If there is any room for you to improve your points by 1 or 2 or maybe 5, go for it. This is the time, guys. Okay, go for it. Never stop working on improving your points. If you're looking for general skilled migration, 190, 491, 189, it always helps, especially those English ones, because English points are 20. They make a huge difference. Right now, I'm on 482 visa as a baker, so it is necessary skills assessment for 186. If you go under TRT stream with the same employer, no requirement for skills assessment. But if you go under direct entry, then requirement for skills assessment. Okay, Upama Bania is asking, will there be 190 in New South Wales soon? 190 New South Wales has a substantive number of places. If you come to my YouTube or on Facebook, I have displayed that screen there. So they have a substantive number of seats remaining. Roughly, how many? So New South Wales has roughly 1,857 and for 190 remaining. So they have substantive number of seats remaining. Miriam is saying, hi, UK accountant, 95 points, chances for 189, 190. Limited chances, Miriam, for 189. But again, you may get invited. Target maybe 491. Okay. Accountant is such a crowded occupation. We have lots of accountants in Australia already. So from offshore, invite for accountant is going to be a bit tricky. I would recommend you to target 491. Okay, you may have better outcomes. Hey, I done diploma and is what to study 2-year bachelor's in Darwin, will be eligible for extra TR. Hey, I've done diploma. So diploma level qualification does not allow you 1-year regional extension for 485 visa. Only bachelor or higher degrees do. Will there be a 1 in 9 invitation round in 2025? I think so. Yeah, I believe there would be a round, maybe end of April, or maybe first week of May, if you look at previous year's trends. SG is asking, I think I've answered your question, SG. Construction project manager, 105 points, ACT, what are the chances for getting invited for 190? So ACT, I think 105 points are your Canberra matrix points. Canberra also has roughly 515 for 190 and 358 for 491. They still have some seats remaining. Can't really say much. I do not have a lot of clientele from Canberra. But if you look at 105 ACT point, Canberra matrix points, I think they are on lower side. Improving your points would definitely help. And there are other considerations that they have for potential applicants. How long, Hemant Sivakoti, how long should I wait after visa application goes on further assessment by system automatically? If it goes in further assessment, it can take up to 3 to 4 months again. Sometimes it is quick. I mean, depends on case-to-case basis. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it a day on Facebook and YouTube. So we are going to be live again next week. Okay, we'll do constant lives on all platforms. You will see Maddie with me as well, and Manjot will also join later next week and following week. So thank you very much, guys, for staying with us until now. We'll continue for another couple of minutes on TikTok, and we'll wrap it up. Okay, all the best. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you in the next week.
See you guys.